The signal that changed everything. Zara was an alien girl from the planet Valeria. She was not a soldier, not a hero, just a young explorer who loved space. Her job was to scan empty parts of the galaxy where nothing exciting ever happened. Most days were quiet. She floated in her ship, checked her radar, and waited for her shift to end. But today was different. Today, she saw something no one had seen in hundreds of years. It started with a small beep. Zara looked at her radar. A red dot appeared. That was strange. This part of space was empty. There were no known ships nearby. She zoomed in on the radar. The red dot was moving, slow, steady, and coming closer. She asked the computer to scan it. The answer made her heart beat faster. The system showed a strange label. It said, "Human ship detected." Zara froze. That word, human, was not something she ever expected to see. In her world, humans were a myth, a scary story told to children. Long ago, people said humans were real. They were strong, smart, and dangerous, but they disappeared long before Zara was born. No one had proof they were ever real. Most Valari believed they were just fiction. But now, her ship said otherwise. A human ship was here, in front of her, moving in space. She felt her hands shaking. Was this a joke? A system error? She scanned again. Same result. Same label. Human ship detected. Her first thought was to run. Her second thought was to call her command, but something inside her told her to wait, to watch. She sent a message to the strange ship. "Identify yourself," she wrote. There was no reply. She tried again. "This is Valari Patrol Ship 6X. You are in protected space. Respond." Still no reply. But the ship kept moving. It was not big, but not small either. It had old tech, not like anything Zara had ever seen. The outside was dark and rough. There were no signs of weapons, but she couldn't be sure. Then something happened that made her heart stop. Her ship's power dropped. The lights dimmed. The engines went silent. She was floating, dead in space. System failure. The computer, said Zara, tried everything. Restart, emergency power, manual override. Nothing worked, and the human ship was getting closer. She sat in silence. Fear filled her. Was this how humans attacked? Did they use tech that could break ships without firing? A shot? The ship stopped just a few kilometers away. It didn't do anything, just hovered, like it was watching her. Zara stared at it, waiting for something to happen. Minutes passed. Her ship was still dead. Then her screen turned on by itself. A message appeared. Simple words. "Do not be afraid." That was all. 4 words. But it was enough to make her freeze again. The words were in her language. Perfect Valari script. That was impossible. How did a human know her language? More thoughts rushed through her mind. If this was really a human ship, then who was inside? What did they want? Why now? For years, her people believed humans were gone. Now one had appeared from nowhere, found her in deep space, and stopped her ship like it was a toy. She had no control, no power, and no answers. She tried sending a message again. "Who are you?" No answer. Then slowly her ship's power returned. Lights flickered back. Engines hummed. Her radar came back online. The human ship was still there, silent. Zara had a choice. She could run and report this, or she could stay and find out the truth, but one thing was clear. Everything had changed. If humans were real, then the galaxy was not what she thought it was. The signal she received was not just a message, it was a warning. The myth was real, and now it was watching her. Frozen in fear, Zara had always believed she was brave. She had flown through asteroid storms, landed on dark moons, and faced strange creatures. But now, floating in deep space with a dead ship and a human vessel just meters away, she felt something she had never felt before. Fear. Not the kind that makes you scream, the kind that makes you silent. the kind that makes your thoughts freeze. Her hands hovered above the controls, but there was nothing left to do. Her systems had failed, her weapons were offline, and the ship in front of her, labeled human, was still silent. Zara stared at it. No movement, no light, just a dark shape, floating like a shadow from the past. Then she remembered the message. Do not be afraid. But how could she not be afraid? Her people had told stories of humans for generations. They were smart, powerful, and wild. Some stories said they had destroyed their own world. Others said they had once ruled the stars. But every story ended the same. They vanished. And now, one had returned. Or maybe they had never truly left. She took a deep breath. Computer, try communication again. No response, the ship replied. She watched the human ship through her main window. She thought she saw movement, a figure, a shadow inside. Her heart beat faster. What did they want? Why now? Why her? Her training told her to leave. The smart choice was to escape, fly back to Valeria, and report everything. But her ship had just recovered from total failure. One wrong move, and it could break again. And deep inside, something told her this moment was important. She whispered to herself, "Maybe this is why I became an explorer." She typed a message. "Who are you? Why are you here?" A long pause. Then her screen flickered. Reply appeared. "My name is Commander Ray. I am human." Zara's eyes widened. The word felt heavy. Real. It was not just a label on a radar now. A real human was talking to her. She asked, "How do you know my language?" "I have studied your people for a long time," he answered. "I have been watching from far away." She felt cold. That meant he knew about Valeria. Maybe even more than her own people realized. She sent another message. "What do you want?" His answer was slow. "I want to talk. I need your help." Her fear mixed with curiosity. A human asking for help? That didn't match the stories. "What kind of help?" she asked. There was a pause. "Something dangerous is coming," he replied. "I can't stop it alone." She didn't like the sound of that. "What is coming?" she typed. No answer. Only silence. Then another message appeared. Short. "You need to see it yourself." Zara's heart raced. She had a choice now. She could end the connection. She could fly away and leave the human behind, or she could trust a voice from an old myth. She leaned back in her seat. Her hands were shaking. If she stayed, she might be making a huge mistake. But if she left, she might never learn the truth. And something told her, this was only the beginning. Some part of her, deep down, believed the human wasn't lying. Because just before the signal ended, she saw something else on her radar. Something large, something fast, something not from her world. Or his. Her fear had only just begun. First contact. She had spoken to a ghost. That's what it felt like. Zara sat still, staring at the black screen. The human had stopped replying. His ship was quiet again, like before. But now something was different. Now she knew there was a real person inside. A human. A being from old legends, from half-lost stories passed down through generations. His name was Commander Ray. He said he needed help. He said something dangerous was coming. But he gave no details, no proof, just silence. Was he hiding something, or was he afraid? Zara didn't know what to think. Her mind was full of questions. How was he alive? How did he survive if his people had vanished? Why now? The signal had come from nowhere, and now the silence was louder than anything she had ever heard. She tapped the controls. "Are you still there?" she messaged. No reply. She waited. 1 minute. 2. 5. Nothing. She checked her radar again. His ship was still there, still quiet, still watching. Zara began to wonder if she had imagined the whole thing. Maybe the message wasn't real. Maybe she was tired, lost in deep space, far from home, far from everything. But then, something new appeared. A file, sent from the human ship. She opened it carefully, ready to shut it down if it was dangerous. But it wasn't a weapon. It was information. Thousands of pages, images, old star maps, photos of ships, buildings, and people, humans, real humans. She had never seen anything like it. One picture caught her eye. A blue planet. Green land, white clouds, blue oceans. Earth. She whispered the name. The home of humans. Gone now. Just dust and fire, if the stories were true. But this image showed it alive. Beautiful. Peaceful. Then she saw something else. A warning. Scans of something dark moving through space, fast, hungry, a swarm. The file ended with a simple message. We tried to fight. We failed, now I run. I don't want to run alone anymore. Zara sat back, her heart heavy. Was this what he meant? Was this the danger he spoke of? She didn't know what the swarm was, but it looked deadly. It moved across the stars like a storm. Systems vanished behind it, signals went dark. Entire planets erased. Her people knew nothing about it, but this human did. And he had come here. To her. She typed slowly. I believe you. I want to understand, but I can't open my ship. I don't know if I can trust you. This time the reply came fast. I understand. Just listen. I will speak now. And then, her screen changed. For the first time, she saw his face. A man, not young, not old. His skin was pale, his eyes were sharp but tired. His hair was short and dark. He wore a uniform, old, worn, but clean. He looked human. More than that, he looked alone. His voice came through her speaker. Soft, calm, strange. Zara, he said. That is your name, yes? I don't want to scare you. I don't want to hurt you. I only want one thing, a chance. Zara listened, silent. I've been alone for many years. I don't even know how long anymore. My people are gone. My world is gone. But I survived. Not because I'm strong. Because I had to. Because someone had to remember. He looked away for a second, then back. The warning it began with a sound the galaxy had never heard before. Not a scream. Not a signal. Something deeper. A vibration in the stars. Zara didn't hear it with her ears. She felt it in her bones, like the universe itself had taken a breath and was holding it. After the human, Commander Ray showed her the file, something inside her changed. She was no longer just an explorer. She was part of something larger, a story much older than she could understand. The swarm. She had seen the scans. The trails of dust and silence, the way whole star systems vanished without a word, the way signals simply stopped. She had seen the proof, but she still didn't understand. What was the swarm? Machines? Creatures? A plague? Even Ray didn't fully know. He only knew what it left behind. Nothing. That was the warning, and it had already started. Zara looked at her radar. A new object had appeared. Far away. Just a shadow. Moving fast. No signal. No ID. And not like any Valari or human ship. She called it into Valari Command. They replied coldly. Do not worry. It's probably debris. Return to base. She tried to tell them more. About the swarm. About Ray. About the human files. They didn't listen. Because they didn't believe. They still thought humans were myths. Stories for children. Shadows in history. But now, one stood beside her, and the shadows were moving. She turned to Ray. They won't help us, she said. He nodded. I didn't think they would. What do we do? She asked. Ray looked out the window of his ship. His voice was quiet. We do what your people never thought humans could do. What's that? Zara asked. He answered with a tired smile. We fight for someone else. Zara felt her heart beat faster. Her people were scientists, thinkers, explorers. They did not go to war. But now war had come to them, and they were not ready. She asked Ray, "How did it start? The swarm. How did it come to your world?" Ray looked at her and his voice grew darker. No one saw it coming. First, a missing ship, then a silent colony, then a black wave. We tried to study it, then we tried to fight. But it didn't care about peace or reason. It didn't care who we were, it only wanted one thing. Zara swallowed. "What?" He looked at her, his voice cold now. "Everything." She turned back to her controls. The shadow on her radar was still moving. Closer now. She zoomed in. More shapes. 1, 2, 4, 9. Too many, and too quiet. She sent another message to command. "Unknown fleet detected, moving toward sector E47. I request backup." They replied, "We show nothing. Your system may be damaged. Return for inspection." She slammed her hand on the controls. "They won't believe me until it's too late." Ray said nothing. He had seen this before, and now it was happening again. She turned to him. "Can we stop it?" Ray's answer came without pause. "No, but maybe we can slow it down." Zara took a breath. Her fear was still there. But behind it, something stronger had started to grow. Determination. She didn't know how to fight, but she knew how to fly, how to think, how to act when others froze. She was not a warrior, but she would not run. Not this time. "We'll go to the nearest outpost," she said. "They might listen if we bring proof." Ray nodded. "And if they don't?" She stared at the radar. More signals now. The shadow was growing. She whispered, "Then we show them what's coming." Enemies or allies? Trust is a strange thing in the cold of space. It doesn't come from words. It comes from silence. From the moments where someone could run but stay. Zara sat in her ship, watching the human vessel fly beside her. Still no weapons, no attack, just calm, steady movement. Ray was keeping his word, and yet, doubt whispered in her mind. Her people had always feared humans. They were called wild, violent, dangerous. And now here she was, flying with one, trusting him more than her own command. She had sent them warnings, radar scans, files from Ray, even a live message. Still, they didn't believe. In fact, they had done something worse. They had ordered her to stop. A new message had arrived from Valari. "High Command, return immediately. Do not approach the outpost. You are carrying unknown tech. Your ship may be infected." Zara read the words again and again. They didn't think she was helping a human. They thought she had been compromised by one. She sent back a reply. "I am not infected. The human is real. The threat is real. Please believe me." No answer. Ray's voice came through her communicator. "They're afraid." She looked at his image on the small screen. "They think you're the threat." Ray didn't flinch. "They're not wrong to be afraid. My people once made the galaxy tremble." "But you're not them," Zara said. Ray didn't smile. "Maybe not. But I carry their memory, and that's heavy enough." Zara looked at the stars ahead. The Valari outpost was just one jump away, a small station on the edge of safe space. It wasn't important, but it had one thing they needed, a beacon, a high-power signal that could reach the Valari Council directly. It was a risk. Going there would break her orders, but staying silent would cost everything. "I have to try," she said. Ray nodded. "I'll follow your lead." She started the jump. Lights blinked, engines roared, and then darkness turned to light. The outpost appeared before her. Small, quiet, cold. But something was wrong. Too quiet. "Why are there no signals?" she asked. Ray scanned the area. "Shields are up, no response. Either they saw your warning, or they saw me." Zara took a deep breath. "I'm going in." Alone. If I show up with you, they might fire. Ray's voice was calm. I understand. She flew forward. Docked. Entered the station. Guards met her with weapons drawn. Step away. From the console, one said. We are under lockdown. Zara raised her hands. Listen to me, you're in danger, I've seen it. There's something coming and we are not ready. One of the officers, older, stepped forward. You were seen near an unknown ship. We believe you are compromised, show us your data. She handed him a disk. He plugged it in. Seconds passed. Then his face changed. The images appeared. Earth, the swarm, missing colonies, destroyed systems. And finally, the last message from Ray's people. If you find this, you are next. Prepare or perish. The officer stared. His voice shook. Is this real? Zara nodded. Yes. And he's here. The last human. He came to warn us. He could have stayed hidden, but he didn't. Doesn't that mean something? The officer didn't answer. His eyes were wide. Then a call came through. The station. Unknown fleet entering system. 9 signatures, no ID, no signals. Zara's heart sank. It started. Outside, Ray's ship hovered in silence. Waiting. Watching. Not firing. Not fleeing. Just like he promised. Enemies don't act like that. She turned to the officers. You want to know what the real enemy looks like? Step outside. Look at the sky. The first strike. The sky didn't explode. It dimmed, like the stars themselves were backing away. At first, no one noticed. The outpost lights still blinked. The guards still held their weapons. But outside, beyond the windows, space was changing. It was turning black, not night black, but unnatural black, and it was spreading. Zara ran to the main viewing deck. She stared out, eyes wide. Ships were appearing at the edge of the system. Not flying, crawling. Like they weren't made to move, but to consume. Her radar screamed. 9 signals. No names, no codes, no language, just hunger. The swarm had arrived. She tapped her communicator. Ray, are you seeing this? His voice came through, cold and steady. I see them. What do we do? She asked. He paused, then spoke 3 words. We hold ground. On the station, officers panicked. Some ran to battle stations. Others argued. No one had a plan. Valari had never been invaded before. There were rules for diplomacy, rules for exploration, but no rules for this. Zara turned to the commander of the outpost. We have to listen to Ray. He's seen them before. He's the only one who has. The commander hesitated. He's still human. We don't know if we can trust him. A new alert cut him off. Outer defense grid is down. Communications jammed. Hull breach on Dock 3. Zara stepped forward. Do you trust me? The commander looked at her, unsure. Because I trust him, she said. And we don't have time left. The room fell silent. Then he gave a single nod. Bring him in. Zara's heart raced. She opened the channel. Ray, they've agreed. You can dock. No, Ray replied. Not yet, I'll stay out here, I'll draw their fire. What? That's suicide. Ray's voice was calm. If they focus on me, you'll have time to power the beacon. The warning has to reach your council. If it doesn't, this station ties for nothing. Zara shook her head. You won't survive. Ray gave a small laugh. No human did. Why should I be different? Then the line went silent. Outside, Ray's ship turned, alone, small, fragile, and flew straight at the dark wall of the swarm. The first wave hit him, not with missiles, with silence. His ship jerked, systems flickering as the swarm tried to pull data from him. It didn't destroy first, it studied, then it erased. Zara watched from the station. Power the beacon, she ordered. Now. Energy built in the tower above the station, a bright blue light glowing stronger, ready to send a signal across the stars. The message, the swarm is real. Valeria is under attack. Unity or extinction. But the swarm wasn't waiting. 3 of its ships turned toward the station. Black, cold, unstoppable. Ray's voice came back, weak, broken. I can't hold them. You have minutes. Zara turned to the commander. We have weapons, right? Basic defense guns, he said. She pointed toward the swarm. Then use them. The commander stared. Even if we fire, we can't win. Zara's eyes narrowed. Then we don't fight to win. We fight to wake up the galaxy. Outside, the beacon charged. The swarm moved closer. Ray's ship was almost gone, pieces floating, fire in its engines, signals failing. But still, it flew forward. Still, it distracted them. Still, it refused to fall. Just before his signal cut off, he spoke his last words. Don't remember us as monsters. Remember us as the warning. Then static. Zara clenched her jaw. She hit the launch. The beacon fired. Blast of blue light raced across the stars. The message was sent. The warning had begun. We are not myths. The signal reached the stars like a scream breaking a long silence. For years, the Valari believed they were safe. That myths were just stories. That monsters only lived in history. Now the myth had sent them a warning, and died for it. Ray's ship was gone. Only smoke and broken metal floated where it once stood. The swarm moved past it, cold and silent, as if it hadn't just destroyed the last human. But Ray had done what no one else had. He made them listen. The beacon's message jumped from system to system. Every Valari station received it. So did other species. Old allies, old rivals, explorers in deep space. It said only one thing. The swarm is real. We stand alone, or we fall together. Some ignored it, some laughed, but others remembered. Old stories, human stories, of a time when humans stood against impossible odds, not for survival but for others, for people who feared them, even hated them. And still, they stood. Back at the outpost, Zara stood on the damaged deck, watching the swarm ships surround them. Their weapons were low, shields were breaking, but she stood tall. They think we're weak, she said. The outpost commander replied, We are weak. She turned to him, eyes full of fire. Not today. The swarm stopped moving. That's what it did before striking. It studied. Zara knew they had minutes left. Any reply from the council? She asked. The officer shook his head. No response yet. Then the beacon buzzed. A voice broke through. Not, Valari not known. This is Commander Idris of the Draxian front. We received your signal. We're sending ships. Another voice followed. This is the Rylon Union. We're coming too. The swarm took 3 of our colonies. We thought we were alone. More voices came. From far systems. From species that hadn't spoken in years. They were all saying the same thing. We thought the stories were lies. We thought humans were monsters. But he warned us. For the first time in a long time, the galaxy agreed on something. And it wasn't war. It was hope. A light blinked. On the radar. Then another. Then 50. Ships were arriving. Valari, Draxian, Rylon, even ancient machines from the old worlds. All answering the call. Zara watched as the swarm paused. For the first time it hesitated. She looked up at the sky and whispered, You're not alone anymore, Ray. The battle began like thunder. The outpost shook. Lights flickered. Fire bloomed. In the sky. But this time it wasn't just defense. It was a stand. Zara flew again. This time with a Valari strike team. Behind her, a Rylon warcruiser fired a massive beam that cut through one of the swarm's black ships. The enemy shrieked, not in sound, but in energy. A pulse of rage, but the allied ships held. One by one, the swarm was pushed back. Slowed, damaged. Not destroyed, but forced to retreat, for now. When the battle ended, space was quiet again, not because it was empty, but because it was watching. The swarm had not expected resistance, certainly not from a galaxy that once feared itself. The cost was high. The outpost was damaged. Many ships were lost. But they were alive, and they were united. Later, the The Valari Council sent a message to the galaxy. We remember the last human, not as a soldier, not as a monster, but as a warning and a friend. They built a memorial near the outpost, a small station that sent out one message every day. To those who think they're alone, we once feared a ghost, but that ghost saved us. Humans are not myths. They are the reason we still stand. Zara visited the memorial every year. She didn't bring flowers. She brought stories. New explorers, young Valari, would sit and listen. About Earth, about the swarm, about the man who flew into the dark. Not to destroy, but to warn. And in the end, that was enough, because sometimes the greatest warriors don't fight to win. They fight to be remembered.